So this is my G dominant 7th chord, or sometimes we can just call it G7. Let's talk a little bit about another way to think about it that's not just purely based on intervals. We can use also how these chords are going to occur in a different key. So to do that, let's pick a different key as those notes go away. And I'm going to pick the key of B flat. I'm going to pick the key B flat. So I'm just changing some note values here just for fun. So let's think about B flat. There's B flat. The other important word here for us is dominant. And this is sort of a word that in music has a few different meanings. And one of the important meanings for dominant is actually that it happens on the 5th degree of the scale. That's sort of dominant is a code word for that. So when we see dominant, we want to think it's happening on the 5th degree of a scale. So I need to say if I'm in B flat, and let me just go ahead and write B flat here for us so that we can just remember where we are. And of course now I have to go in and erase all these other crazy things. That's just how it goes. Let me get rid of that, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to make that disappear. Okay, cool. So if I'm in B flat, I need to get myself to the 5th note of the B flat major scale because that's what we said the word dominant means. It means it happens on 5. So if I'm in B flat, that means B flat is 1. So the second note of a B flat major scale is C. So there's a C, moving right along. The third note would be D. So far I have B flat, C, D. And I know that the 4th note is actually going to be E flat because I know my key signature for B flat major is B flat and E flat. And so far so good. I've got 4 notes, B flat, C, D, E flat. And that takes me to the 5th note of the scale, which we just said is sort of code for dominant. And I'm going to switch here to this whole note so that it stands out. And so that 5th note here is going to be an F. So I'm 5 notes up. I've got B flat, I've got C, I've got D, I've got E flat, and I've got F. And that's going to be the 5th note of the scale, or the dominant note. And so what's going to happen is it's on F here that we're going to build our dominant 7th chord. And the real fun thing about this, and the fun thing about using chords in keys in general, is that we can just use the notes from the key. So I'm going to start and just build a triad on F, and I'm going to only use notes from the key of B flat. We said B flat has a B flat and an E flat, and everything else is a natural note. So here, above F, I can go up and get my 3rd, which is A, and I know I have A naturals in this key because it's not B flat or E flat. And then I need a 3rd above that, which is C. So now I've got root, 3rd, 5th, get up there, root, 3rd, well, whatever, root, 3rd, 5th, there we go, in the key of B flat on F, which is the dominant, and this is an F major triad. And we said if I have a major triad, I can build a dominant 7th. So what we're going to do now is we need to add a 7th to this chord. I've got root, 3rd, 5th, right? I've got F, I've got A, I've got C. So the note that's going to be a type of 7th here is a type of E, right? But it's not going to be E natural because the kind of E I have in this scale is E flat, right? So I'm going to make this an E flat. And let's see if we've filled all our parameters here. We know that a 7th chord is going to have 4 different notes. It's going to have, let's get rid of that flat. It's going to have a root, which is F. It's going to have a 3rd, which is A. It's going to have a 5th, which is C. And it's going to have a 7th, which in this case is E, and E flat specifically. So that's pretty good. We also know that we said the dominant seventh chord, the kind of seventh it'll have, is a minor seventh. And if I look from F to E flat, from F to E flat is a minor seventh, because above F, a major seventh would be E natural. So a minor seventh, 1/2 step below, is E flat. But I don't necessarily have to trust only that way of thinking about it. I can also say, I know that dominant means 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It means the fifth note in a scale. So I said if I'm in B flat, I can walk up B flat, C, D, E flat, F. And if I build a seventh chord on that note and use only notes from this scale, F is in this scale, A is in this scale, C is in this scale, and the kind of E I get in this scale is E flat. So if I follow those parameters, I will get a dominant seventh chord. And that's exactly what happened.